Okay, Chitty. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen and can you hear me well? Okay. So today let's talk about types of IPs. What is that? Types of IPs. So mainly there are different types of IP addresses, guys. There are different types of IP addresses. So mainly what are those? There are three types. How many types? How many types are there? Three types. So that is public IP, private IP, elastic IP. Which one? Elastic IP. So say this guys. What are the three types of IP address? Public IP, private IP, elastic IP. So here I write it as public IP, private IP, and elastic IP. Okay, there are three types of IP addresses: public IP, private IP, and then elastic IP. So let us see this in graphical representation. So I'll make this very easy for you. Let's say this is your AWS. Okay, this is your AWS. Okay, AWS, and everything should be within the VPC, correct? Yes, and then here we have, this is your laptop, correct, guys? You have your laptop or desktop, wherever it is, whatever it is, you have this. Till now, how you guys are connecting? You are connecting from your laptop to AWS like this, correct? How do you connect? Using internet, correct? Yes or no? Using internet. So consider this is as a laptop. You getting it? So using your laptop, you are connecting to the AWS using the internet. So can we go and launch an EC2 instance here? Yes. So we can go ahead and then launch an EC2 instance. Guys, when you launch an EC2 instance, automatically one IP address is assigned, and that IP address is private IP. Which IP address is assigned automatically? Private IP. So whenever you launch the EC2 instance, automatically your private IP is assigned. Can I say that is a default IP that you get? So is it mandatory to have the private IP? Yes, it is mandatory. It is mandatory, guys. And you will get it by default, automatically you will get it. So whenever you launch the EC2 instance, automatically which IP address is assigned? Private IP is assigned. But the question here is it possible for you to, from your laptop, to connect to this private IP directly from internet? Huh? Answer is no. Because what IP is that? It is a private IP. So what kind of IP that we need to assign for the EC2 instance? Public IP. So you need to assign the public IP to the EC2 instance if at all you want to connect it from the internet. So now you can assign the public IP here. You can assign the public IP. So you can assign the public IP, or also you can assign the elastic IP. In shortcut, I call it as EIP. So you can assign either public IP or elastic IP. So both of them are used to connect from the internet. Okay, but what is the difference between both of them? So the main difference is, guys, if your EC2 instance, if you stop and start the EC2 instance, what is that? If you stop and start the EC2 instance, your IP address, public IP address will change. let's say you have given this IP, public IP to customer. Suppose I have given the public IP to Bhargav, right? Bhargav is my customer. So now, in some cases, or fortunately, unfortunately, maintenance or something, I have stop and start. If I stop and start, IP address will change, no? So Bhargav can able to connect to the EC2 instance? No. So I need to go and give the latest IP address all the time whenever and stop and start. So, but if you want to have a static IP, that means if you stop and start the EC2 instance, IP address should not be changed. If you need to have that, which kind of IP address that you should use? Elastic IP you need to use. So elastic IP is a static, whereas public IP is dynamic. Public IP is dynamic and elastic IP is static. You know, you understand the difference? If you stop and start, IP address changes. That is public IP. If you stop and start, IP address will not change. That is elastic IP. Got you? Okay. So, can I say this is public IP is dynamic? Dynamic. Whereas elastic IP is static. But this public IP and elastic IPs are mandatory or optional? It is optional. Guys, remember, until unless there is a requirement, will you expose your EC2 instance to the public? So don't assign the public IP or elastic IP unnecessarily. But how do you connect from outside? Guys, generally, this is not the scenario that we should be connecting to the EC2 instances. Are we will be in the internet or we will be in the company? Will you be working to the AWS from the internet normally from your home, or you will be working to the AWS from your company? Company only, no? Will you go to internet cafe and like internet, how you have home internet? Will you no, right? So you'll be working from the company. So this is company. See, this is your company. So company will have a public network or private network? Company will have always private network. Private network. So from your company, guys, from your company, you will be connecting to the AWS, correct? From your company, you're connecting to the AWS. How do you connect from your company to AWS? Using VPN. What is that? VPN. What is VPN, Nana? Virtual Private Network. So remember we discussed this, no? Where? In dedicated connect concept. So from your company to AWS, you will be using VPN to connect it. Okay. So if you connect to, if you have the VPN, it is virtual private network. So what type of network that you can go with that? Private network only. So from your company, can you connect to the EC2 instances private to the private IPs? Yes. So it is private to private. Private to private. So in your real time or in your real time, will you be working from here or will you be working from the second scenario, right? From the company. So you'll be going through the VPN. So this scenario is very rare. From the internet, that scenario is very rare and you should not be doing it. Now tell me, in which scenario we are? In scenario number 1 or scenario number 2? We are in now. 1. Do we have any company? Are we working in a company? No, right? If it is fortunate, we can work in same company, right? But as of now, no. So we have, everyone have your own laptops, correct? And you are connecting to the normal internet. So we'll be using directly like this. So in that case, what type of IP address you can use? Public IP you can use or extra IP you can use. Clear, Nana? So for one EC2 instance, can you have only private IP? Yes. So you can connect to the using public IP. So for your EC2 instance, you can have only private IP. Yes. Your EC2 instance can have private IP plus public IP also. Yes. Your EC2 instance can have private IP plus elastic IP. Yes. But your EC2 instance can have like this. Is it possible that 3? That last one is not possible. So you can have either public IP, either elastic IP. Any one you can have. Clear? Huh? So by seeing this diagram, you should be able to easily identify what is public, what is private, and how do we connect. Right? Should I go and write for you? Public IP meaning which can be accessed from internet. And public IP is optional, correct? And public IP is dynamic. So that meaning, guys, if you stop and start, what will happen? Yes, if you stop and start, public IP will be changed. And who assigns this IP addresses? AWS assign public IP to the EC2 instances. Coming to the private IP, which cannot be accessed from internet. That is called private IP. Private IP is mandatory. Private IPs are mostly static, guys. Private IPs will change if you stop and start? No. And by the way, when do you access this private IP? Okay, now see it here, guys. Can I go and launch one more EC2 instance in my VPC? Yes, I can launch one more EC2 instance. EC2, and it has an IP. Now tell me, these two EC2 instances will talk with each other using what IP? These two EC2 instances will talk with each other using what IP? Private IP. So within the VPC, which IP address that you use? Private IP you can use. So, all right. Within the VPC and through VPN, you can use the private. Private IPs can be used within the VPC and through VPN. So coming to elastic IP, guys, can I say it is same as public IP? But EIP is static. So if you stop and start the EC2 instance, what will happen? EIP will not change. And guys, 5 EIPs are free. How many EIPs are free? Certification question. How many EIPs are free? 5 EIPs are free. But remember, 5 EIPs are free. But let's say I went and launched an EC2 instance and I got an elastic IP from AWS. And I have not associated that elastic IP to the, I have not associated that elastic IP to the EC2 instance. When it is ideal, an elastic IP is not in use. If it is below 5 also, AWS will charge. So make sure your elastic IP is associated to the EC2 instance. If it is not associated, even though how many IPs are free? 5 IPs are. If you have 2 IPs also, and if it is not associated to any of the EC2 instance, it is just sitting ideally, will it be charged? Yes, it will be charged. Got it? So the rule here in elastic IP is get the elastic IP from AWS and assign it to the EC2 instance. Don't keep it ideal. If you keep it ideal, what will happen? It will be charged. Okay, ma? So EAP has to be associated to the EC2 instance. Okay. I'll write. If you have not associated. So if it is not associated or not use EIP, not use EIP to any instance, it will be charged. If those EIPs are below 5 also, don't keep it idle. Ideal EIPs are charged. There is a question. Sir, could you explain in which scenario we will use elastic IP and is it mandatory? We just discussed already. Guys, in which scenario we can use elastic IP? If the customer doesn't, if you don't want to give the IP address again to the customer. So see, your EC2 instance, let's say you have launched an EC2 instance, and if your customer want to access that EC2 instance, how does the customer will access? Through the IP address only, no? Which IP address? Either you can go with the public IP, either you can go with the elastic IP. Is it possible with the private IP? No, because from internet is accessing it. So now in these two, public IP and elastic IP, which one do you choose? To the customer. To the customer, you choose the elastic IP. Because if you stop and start the EC2 instance, IP address will change? No, it will not change for the elastic IP. But if you choose public IP, it will change. So customer will get frustrated all the time to whenever he's trying to access IP address is change. He will contact you, you give the new IP and he uses for 2 days and you stop and start, again it will change. Again he try to connect, it will not work. Again he will contact you. So he'll get frustrated. So in that case, you need to use which IP address to the customer? Elastic IP, use it. And this elastic IP also will be used in many scenarios for many components in AWS, but you will not get to know now. When we go to that level, we'll learn automatically. But for now, remember elastic IPs. If you don't want to get the change, then go with the elastic IP. Sham, do you see this? You're asking this question, guys. Does the private IPs will change? Do you see this here? I said. Okay. Is it clear till here, everyone? Online, City? Everyone, is this clear? When you launch an EC2 instance, guys, remember, for every machine, you have two things. What are those? You will have a host name and IP address, correct? Host name, can we also call it as DNS name? Okay. So that means when you launch an EC2 instance, for the EC2 instance, you will get the IP address also, you will get the DNS name also. You will get the name, you will get the IP address. And there is also a question. Why is an ideal EIP charge? Why meaning? What should I say? Oh, okay. For mostly I'll have answers. Okay. To answer you this. Generally, but unnecessarily confuse yaar. If I jump the topics. Okay, see. You have your internet at your home. Yes or no? So your laptop has the IP address. So if you go to Google and type what is my IP, if you go and type what is my IP, you will get the IP address, no? That IP address is a public IP. It is a public IP. Your ISP provider will assign you on the public IP. That public IP is static or dynamic? It is dynamic. It is dynamic. So no one will give you the static IPs because static IP money, right? So for it is what you call static IPs are very, what do you call, yaar? Arudu. Precious, no. So static IPs are like very rare. right? You don't get it rare, or you will get it rare, and also it is very scarcity. No one will give the static IPs. So because that IP will be assigned for you forever, that is not good. So no one, your ISP provider also will not give the static IPs. He'll always give the dynamic IP. If you want to go and ask, hey, ISP provider, can you give me the static IP for me? He will ask you, you need to pay more. Because generally IP address are assigned by DHCP. What is that? DHCP, Dynamic Host Control Protocol. What is that? Dynamic Host Control Protocol. So we should not go to that kind of things because that is out of our topic completely. So IP address generally assigned by which server? DHCP server. So DHCP server will assign static IPs also. You will assign elastic IP. Generally, what will happen? IP address you will get it for lease. For what? Lease. A dynamic IP address you will get it for lease. So if you see, if you go to home and just type what is my IP, you will get that and note it down. Let's say after 2 days, 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, 1 week, and you type what is my IP. IP will change. So DHCP will assign the IP address to your machines for as per the lease period. That lease period will be defined by the administrator. So let us not go into that topic. That is not at all in AWS address. DHCP is completely managed by AWS in the backend. They don't even say the word also. Okay? Okay. I hope someone asked this question. Why ideal IPs are free? So now you know how much scarcity and how much valuable the static IP is now, correct? And you need to pay for that. And AWS is giving how many free? 5 free. Generally, anyone can give that 5 IPs free? No one will give. They will charge. But you are getting the IP address, you're not using it. You're just keeping it in your account. What for AWS, right? So that meaning AWS will get hurt definitely. Are Babu, I'm giving the static IPs which is free. You're keeping it ideal. I'll charge you. Right? So that is the reason why AWS will charge for the ideal EAPs. So if you are assigning to the EC2 instance, AWS will certify, oh, okay, Babu, no problem. I am giving 5. He's using it, no issues. But if you are not using it, and if it is below 5 also, 1 also, 2 also, AWS will charge. And 6th one, obviously AWS will charge. You got this now? Okay. Sir, if the EC2 machine is inside private network with no extra internet communication, still we will have public IP? Answer this question, guys. Sir, if EC2 instance is in private network with no external internet communication, still it will have public IP? Answer is no. Did I say public IP is mandatory or optional? So can we say it is now? Answer is optional. No need. If your EC2 instance, everything is in private and you don't want to communicate to outside, you want to assign public IP? No. So it is up to us. Enable, disable public IP. If you want, enable it. If you don't want, disable it. But which one is mandatory? Private IP is mandatory. Okay, ma? Clear? Any kind of questions like this? Please ask. Okay. There is question you are asking to me. If you're asking me, then I'll answer you. Is tags required for elastic IP? Tags is what? So tags is for everything you have tags. Now you have 20 elastic IPs in your EC2 console. Do you know which elastic IP is used for which instance, which team? So if you mention the tags, it is good for you. So tags for everywhere, I said. But tags are optional. It's up to you. I should say static. Keep that as static only. Saho. Okay. Okay. Good. Okay. So guys, generally what is metadata? Generally, what is metadata? Metadata. That is metadata. Since our childhood, we will learn data about data. Data about data is called metadata. So let's say, for example, you have launched an EC2 instance. What is the EC2 instance IP? in which VPC it launched, which subnet is launched, which KPI is used, which security group is used, etc. Entire information about the EC2 instance is called metadata. So that is called here instance metadata. What is that? Instance metadata. So can I say data about EC2 instance? Data about EC2 instance is called the instance metadata. So from console, where can you see all these things? From console, you get the instance metadata information in details section. In which section, guys? You can see the metadata? Details section. There is a section called details section. When we go to the lab, I'll show you there. So you go to the console. Like IAM, we went to the console. We saw all IAM users, no? If you select it, we have permissions, etc., etc. All these are all data only, right? So for the EC2 instance also, there is a button, there is a option called details section tab. In that tab, you can see all the data. So from console, you can see it, guys. But how about from CLI? Remember CLI? From CLI, follow the below URL. From CLI, if you want to know the instance metadata about the instance, you should use this URL for 100% certification question. http://169.254.169.254/latest/meta-data. This is the URL that you should remember. What is the URL? Here, see me and tell me. 169.254 169.254/latest/meta-data. So 169.254/latest/meta-data. So this is the URL that we should be using through the CLI. So, but this, yes, this will be the same for all EC2 instances. Please remember, in your certification question, they will change the IP address and they will change metadata front and latest last, or else they will remove the minus in between. So please remember that and select the correct answer in real time. Okay, now we discuss about metadata. Let's discuss about user data. What is that? The data which is provided by user is called user data. Simple. Akpak, karepak type. But the thing is, we don't want to learn like that. Okay. So anyways, that is correct only. The data which is provided by the user is called user data. But what is providing is the question. Right? So what is providing is, guys, see, if you want to do some work in EC2 instance, that can be installation, that can be running a script, anything. If you want to do some work in the EC2 instance, you can do it manually also and you can automate also. Yes or no? Let's say, for example, Tomcat. Tomcat is just a small software, no? Not small, big software only, no? Tomcat, application server. So Tomcat, once you launch the EC2 instance, you can log into the EC2 instance and install Tomcat by yourself, everything by yourself manually. Can we do that? Yes. Or you can write a small script to install Tomcat. That can be any cat, Tomcat, HTTP, Apache, whichever it is application, whichever software, write it in one script, put it in user data. And this user data is a box that you will get in one of the 7 steps. In one of the 7 steps, it will ask, Babu, do you have any user data? Write it in script and put it in user data and launch the machine. And that script will be executed in your boot time. Which time? Boot time. That meaning boot time meaning when the machine is getting launched, at the boot time, the script will get executed and Tomcat will be installed automatically. Because that is a script, no? The script will go and install whatever the script that you have written, that entire script will get executed in the runtime. And by the time the machine is up, your Tomcat is up. Got that? Got that, guys? So that is called user data. Can we say it is called bootstrap scripting? It is called it as bootstrap script. Let's call it a bootstrap script. So I'm writing it for you. See, the script which you provide will run at the boot time of the EC2 instance. Let's say, guys, let's say, see here, you ran some script. And when you stop and start the EC2, the script will run, should run again. Because Tomcat is already installed. Will you run the script again? No. Remember, this user data script will be executed only for the first time when you launch the EC2 instance. That is a certification question. User data will run only for the very first time of launching the EC2 instance. So guys, user data meaning if you want to automate anything, you can write it in script, put it in the configuration, and automatically at the boot time, when the launching the EC2 instance, automatically the script will execute, automatically the work will be done. Okay. So guys, which type of when you are using Linux, we'll be using shell script. Which script? We'll use shell script. And if you're in Windows, we can use PowerShell script. Okay. So I'll be also showing you the user data on the Linux on the shell scripting. What? This user data is not clear? Okay, again I'm saying. Let's say you want to install Apache. Or guys, simple, no. Instead of you, okay, now you launch the EC2 instance. After launching the instance, you log in and do everything manually, correct? Instead of doing that, write it in script, give it to the EC2 instance while launching the EC2 instance, and that script will be executed in the boot time. Simple. And you know, do you need to do it manually later? No. If you know the scripting, let's say for example, you want to install Tomcat for 10 machines. How do you do it? You launch 10 machines, log into all 10 machines and install Tomcat. Yes or no? Instead of that, can I write one small script and in user data, can I put it this script for all 10 machines and launch? Automatically it'll go and install it. We don't need to do anything else. That's why scripting is used for automation purpose, right? Yes. Okay. Is it clear, everyone? No, we are not. We are not learning scripting here. But I'll use one small shell script, but I'll explain that script. Okay. Guys, till now, so many times I asked how many steps are there to launch an EC2 instance? Like how we have 7 hills, Edu Kondalu, right? So seven steps. What are those bloody 7 steps? Right? Okay. Should I tell you those 7 steps now? You are very good children. I mean, good students. No one asked what are the 7 steps till now. How many steps are there to launch an EC2? 7, sir. 7. But no one asked till now what are those 7. Huh? Very good. Okay. So let's see that 7 steps. See, Sahil said, we trust you, sir. Very good. Okay. So, what are those 7 steps? Guys, in Right? Console is in previously we had a old console and now we have new console, which in AWS we have old console, new console. I am very big fan of old console because similarly in Facebook, remember old console how it is? Now they have changed to new console, no? Is really until we are comfortable with it, looks very bad, at least for me. So, but we got habituated. Similarly, here also in AWS, we had a old console. In that old console, we have step 1, steps 2, step 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. One by one steps are there. But in new console, they clubbed all this and put it in one step. Right? And we should be using the new console only, no? So, but all the 7 steps will be there in here only, but everything is in single step now. Okay. So the first step here is you need to select AMI. For launching the EC2 instance, we need to select AMI. Correct? What is AMI? Amazon Machine Image. So that means copy of the operating system. No. So you need to have operating system to launch an EC2 instance. What is the operating system that we use? You can go with either Linux or you can go with either Windows. Linux meaning which one we use? Red Hat we use. For Windows, we use Windows Server 2022. That we will use. That is one step. And next step here is select instance type. So what is the instance type that we should select? T2 micro. Next, we have configurations, guys. Instance configurations. Instance configuration meaning how many EC2 instances that you want, and do you want public IP or not? CL right here. You want public IP or not? Huh? You want public IP or do you put user data or else all kind of configurations? You do it here in instance configurations. There are so many options are there now. In previously there were no so many options. Now AWS is giving you so many options. We'll go and learn all those things. Okay. So all these options you select there, and mainly this next one is you need to select the storage. Storage meaning what? Volume, volume. What is that? Volume. So what are those? EBS volumes, right? And what is the default volume that you get while launching the EC2 instance? Root volume. Root for Windows, how much GB? 30 GB. For Linux, 8 or 10 GB. Is it possible to add additional volumes also if required here? Yes, you can add. What is the default volumes that you get? Default type? EBS volume type. Default volume type. Default volume type. We have different types of EBS volumes, no? Huh? Uh-huh. Online people already answered. GP2. Appa, sir. Appa. Huh? GP2. Okay. So that is, you need to select all those things there. And can we say that by default volumes are encrypted? Yes. So by default volumes are encrypted. If you want to encrypt, you can select it. Or if you don't want encryption, remove it off. Did I say volume encrypted by default or not encrypted? I said encrypted by default. But in new, we'll see in the lab. In the new console, how does it look like? But in old console, for sure, it is not encrypted. But in new console, looks like they're encrypting it. But we'll see. Did I say that really? Huh? No. In previously, did you write the notes? What did I say? EBS volumes are encrypted, not encrypted. Not encrypted only. No, I said. Hmm. Okay. As per my knowledge, it's not encrypted. But let's see in the lab. Let's see in the lab. But in notes, I said not encrypted only, no? That is not encrypted. Whatever have in my brain. So, but remember, guys, anytime AWS will go and change the feature. That is there for sure. Now we say that it is not encrypted. Maybe when you go to console, it might be encrypted. So there are so many features that was not there before and it is there now because based on the requirement and demand, they will change. But let's see in the lab. Okay, now next is here after storage, we need to select security group. What is it? Which is a security group that we should be using it? Default security group. And then we use tags. Remember? Tags. Can you give the tag name is equal to some server 1 or Linux server like this? Can you give it? You can give. How many tags you can give? 50 tags. And finally, you need to attach PEM file. Remember? Do we have a default PEM file? Do we have a default PEM file created already? No. Default PEM file is not created. So we need to create PEM file and attach it to the EC2 instance. But do we need to always create the PEM files? No. One PEM file can be attached to multiple EC2 instances? Yes, we can attach it. And finally, you review and then launch. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So these are the 7 steps. Did we learn all these 7 steps? Okay. So guys, officially EC2 theory is completed. Pasak. Okay. That is in the last day. But I understand almost such a big topics. But guys, we went very deep. That's the reason why we took this much time because I always go deep. We should learn deep and advanced, but it should be simple. Generally, deep advanced will be simple. Generally, not be simple. But did I make this simple? Yes. Okay, Habibi, welcome to EC2 lab. Okay, but I wanted to give always extra. Sir, you are doing extras always, correct? But in EC2 also, I wanted to give one topic extra. That is not required at all. But should I tell you that extra topic? Which is advanced topic. And also, nowadays, we are using that also in real time. Okay? Okay. So, let's go with that topic. So, what is this? ELB. And then we have EC2 instance. Because in real time, you always go and set up ELB, right? Thank you, Sripati. So this ELB and then EC2, EC2 and EC2. Okay, so before going to this topic, I want to tell you one small thing here. We learned different types of IP addresses. There are different types. On top of it, basically, IPs are classified into many. IP's concept itself is very big concepts. There, we have something called 2 things. One is called unicast IP, anycast IP. Which one? Unicast, anycast. What is that? Unicast and then anycast. Unicast meaning one server will hold one IP address. What is that? One server will hold one IP address. Anycast meaning, guys, multiple servers hold same IPs. Multiple server holds same IPs. How we can implement this here, we'll see. First, I'll write down that so that your, what is that? Unicast. Write down. So one server holds one IP address. Whereas anycast meaning all servers holds the same IP address, and then client is routed to the nearest one. So unicast, anycast. Okay. Anycast meaning, in simple way, if you want to know about anycast, guys, what is anycast? All servers has same IP. All servers has same IP address. Let's say Spice. Spice will be working for one organization. Correct? Everyone will have the same identity and they will be sending to the organization. Like we have cops, police is all there, right? Here also, let's say we have so many batches running in Arishati. In every batch, Riyas, a student will be there. Yes or no? Here also, the similar thing is here. You have multiple servers and all servers will be having the same IP address. And then if someone contacted that server, any server will take it because it has the same IP address. No, let's say for example, google.com. So in the back end, multiple servers will be there with the google.com. So wherever the user has requested that google.com, any of this, all the servers will get the same request, correct? And one guy will take it and he'll send it to the nearest location. And someone hit it to google.com and another servers will take that and send it to the nearest location. So basically, multiple servers has the same IP. So I'll call the names call, hello, Venkat, for example. Venkat, there may be multiple Venkats. And I'm delivering the same speech to multiple Venkats. And they will be doing the work with the same work, right? So similarly here also, no conflicts, nothing here. So here also, we have all servers with the same IPs. Let's say, for example, how we can implement this in AWS is like this. See, this is in AWS, correct? Guys, which is the service will hit first? Route 53 only, no? First it will go to Route 53, then it will go to the load balancer. Okay, now I have the load balancer in Mumbai region. Which region is this? Mumbai. So one guy, all the way he's in US. He's in US. You tell me, he is trying to access all the way from US to Mumbai. What kind of latency he has? He has what? High latency. He has a high latency. So high latency meaning, guys, all the way is accessing from Mumbai, from US, no? There will be multiple hops. Yes or no? Multiple hops meaning will the request will directly come here? No, it will go to his internet provider. It will go to the upstream server. It will go to that area. It will go to that place. It will exchange. It will go to another country. It will go to, so many hops will be there. Okay. So many hops will be there. So due to so many hops, you will get the high latency, correct? Right? So many hops will get, due to this so many hops, you will have the high latency. And if you want to give this for low latency, if you want to achieve low latency, what you need to apply here? edge locations you need to apply. Did we learn that? Yes. So that meaning here, US has edge location, no? US will be having the edge location. Edge location nothing but CDN. Correct? US will have the CDN. And we'll ask, hey US Babu, connect to the CDN. And from the CDN, the request will be connected to the Mumbai. And you will have a low latency here now. Yes, you have low latency. And now, one customer is here. Okay, one customer. And this customer is telling, Babu, give me the IP address of your website. Where did you heard this? Ship, no? Ship concept, huh? So he says, give me the IP address of your website. I want to put it in my firewall. I want to put it in my firewall. So guys, for this, we were doing so many things, but AWS has implemented a new feature which is called Global Accelerator. What is that? GA. What is that? Global Accelerator. So this Global Accelerator will be there. And fortunately, this Global Accelerator is giving 2 static IPs. What is that? This GA is giving 2 static IPs. Can I give those 2 static IPs to the customer? And this GA is back connected to the load balancer. And this is using AWS internal network. So your work is also done and you will get a low latency in the backend. And this guy is using 2 Anycast IPs. What is this using? 2 Anycast IPs. So Global Accelerator is completely managed by AWS only. Do we need to go? Is it like a server? No, it is just a service from AWS. You create a Global Accelerator automatically. How many IPs that you get? 2 static IPs. And those IPs are unicast or anycast? Anycast. So that meaning Global Accelerator will be there in front. Whenever someone is hitting your application, because it has the same IP, no? So both will get collected and then it will see. And which is the region he's trying to go? Mumbai, go to Mumbai. And you know what? And it uses in the backend, it is also uses CDN in the backend. Just imagine how much fast it will be. Okay. Now I say here, I'm the customer. I'm the customer. I access boom.com. And these 2 people are in front of me. They are sitting. No, these 2 people are my Global Accelerator. So Global Accelerator is giving how many IPs? 2 IPs. This guy name is Bhargav and this guy name is also Bhargav. Same IPs. So when I say boom.com, any of them they collected, no? Bhargav will, so they will collect and then he'll ask, and I'm accessing my load balancer, no? Load balancer in which region? Mumbai region. So Bhargav will send to his nearest edge location. And from there, it will go to another edge location. From there, it will go to another edge location. And finally, it will go to the Mumbai. It will go. And which network it will use? AWS internal network. CDN it will use. And I'm accessing from this location. Similarly, someone has started accessing from another location. Another Bhargav will take that request, no? And he will redirect in the backend to another region to within the nearest edge locations. So guys, this Global Accelerator, as the name itself, Global Accelerator. What is accelerator meaning? Speed. Globally, it is increasing the speed of your application to access your application. That is called Global Accelerator. Understood? Right? So, but don't get confused with your CDN and Global Accelerator. Both are different. Edge locations are different. Okay, let me write for you. If I write, you can read it also. So, write down, guys. Leverage, it will, GA will leverage the AWS internal network to route to your application. Okay. and then two anycast IPs are created for your application. The anycast IP send traffic directly to edge locations. Okay. The edge locations sends traffic to applications. So it is this intelligent routing to low latency and fast regional failover. Can I set up failover also? If one region goes down, can I send it to second region also? Yes. So if I have my application for global applications. So that meaning, do you all agree GA will also do the health checks of my application? Yes. GA performs health checks of your application. So helps make your application global. Failover less than 1 minute. Great for, can I say it is great for disaster recovery? If one goes down on the application level, other will pick it up. So how many IPs can be whitelisted on your customer side? Two IPs can be whitelisted. And also it supports DDoS protection from WAF. So guys, there is a concept called WAF. What is that? Web application firewall. What is that? Web application firewall. What is DDoS attacks? DDoS attacks meaning hacking, right? And unwanted things, phishing, right? Hacking, and then there are so many SQL injections will be happening. HTTP flooding will. These are all hackers will do for your URL, boom.com or whichever it is. They will start injecting unnecessary things and they'll steal your data. So to stop these kind of activities, this global accelerator is integrated with the WAF. WAF meaning web application firewall. There is a service called AWS Shield. What is this, Nana? AWS Shield. Using this AWS Shield, you can implement WAF. So they both use the AWS global network and its edge locations. So both services are integrated with AWS. There is no way that your certification question will skip from these things. No way. Right? So CloudFront meaning, what does it do? It improves performance for both cache content. That can be images and videos and all. So dynamic and static content. Content is served from edge location. Whereas global accelerator it's improve performance for a wide range of applications globally over TCP. Okay, good for non. I think it's not required. Okay, white whitelisting IP and digital recover. Good, good for gaming, IoT, voice over IPs, etc. Enough. Not it uses. Okay. Do you got a good difference now? And this is not free. AWS will charge up to $18 per month. I don't know. When I was using it is $18, but it might be increased also. Who knows? But it is not free. But you don't need to do anything. We learned too much here. But we don't need to do anything. It's just a checkbox. Create accelerator, create global accelerator. Check. Bus. While creating the load balancer. Guys, your global accelerator is attached to whom? Load balancer. Global accelerator is attached to your load balancer. GA is attached to ELB. So when you're creating ELB, when you're creating your load balancer, it asks, Babu, do you want global accelerator? Check it. If you check it, what will happen? It will create the global accelerator. It will get connected to your load balancer and it will give the two static IPs. And rest everything, who will take care? AWS will take care. And you will get the nasty URL of the global accelerator. And what do you do for that? Route 53, go and do the makeup. Yes. And I use this global accelerator concept and I saved my ship later. So there might be a certification, one or two questions. One question you will get maximum, otherwise no, in global accelerator. That too, does the global, how many IPs does the global accelerator support? Two. Those are unicasta, anycasta, any cast, simple as that. That is a certification you get. But in real time, this will be used to increase the speed of your application, and you can set up DR also, disaster recovery. If one application goes down, you can have another application in there, and your global accelerator will point to this and automatically will get failover to the other one, in just in case. Super. Take the screenshots. On-premise hosted, I don't think so. Amol, your application should be in AWS. Because there is no way in CloudFront to select your on-premises application. What do you mean dedicated and shared IP? We don't have that concept here, Thakur. Guys, take the screenshots. Done. And the second one. The 7 steps, notes. I'll share, but tell me honestly, did anyone went to my PPTs and checked? Tell me honestly. No one, right? But I'll share, no problem. I'll share. And the last one. But those who have went through the PPTs, you can feel better. My pains are much better because you can get more information from my pains. No, Srikant, we'll share it. I'll share it. Distributed denial of service, DDoS full form. But nowhere in certification also they don't ask who cares about distributed denial of service. So it is famous for saying DDoS. So generally what happen is you will get huge traffic, fake traffic. All your infrastructure will be dhamal in the backend. So if you want to save from all those DDoS attacks, phishings, attacks and all, which is the service you can use? AWS Shield. What is that? AWS Shield contain WAF. What is that? What is WAF? Okay, good. Guys, can you give the final CC for today, please? And by the way, from tomorrow, lab practicals. Okay? You can do it now also, no issues. Om Prakash. That is a big concept, Rajesh. You can search in the internet, but when time comes, I'll say, okay? Horizontal meaning instead of going, what? Okay, there is a question. Sir, elasticity is also called horizontal. Which one is better? Horizontal scaling or vertical scaling? Horizontal scaling is better because you are increasing the number of servers. Whereas in vertical scaling, you are increasing the capacity of the server. How much size you can increase? You go to 1000 GB of RAM, 2000, 5000 GB of RAM. After that, is it possible? No. But can you increase? Can you have 10,000 EC2 instance also? You can have it, right? So it's always recommended to go for the horizontal scaling. In the same region, no need to use GA. You can use it because edge locations is only for one country. No, in India we have so many edge locations, but how many regions are there? Only 2 regions, Mumbai and Hyderabad. But edge locations, many are there in each and every city. Also they have. You can use it. Okay, great. So that is all, guys. And tomorrow, I don't say, but there is one surprise tomorrow. Okay. So good. Okay. So Auna, Nijama. Okay. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you tomorrow with the next topic, next practicals. Until then, take care. Bye bye. Have a nice day. And don't miss the class from tomorrow because we are going to the practicals. And also, the rain is not that much. Please try to come offline. Those who are already coming. If not, it's up to you. Okay. So I think we have still 2 more days declared as orange alert in Hyderabad. But take care and then don't miss the class. Thank you guys. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.